Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and I wanted to do a bit of a collection update showing some black metal albums. Now, before I start showing these, there's obviously a lot of controversy surrounds music in general, especially metal, and it seems like the black metal side is quite heavily steeped in controversy and hate speech and whatever, all these different type of things. Straight away, I don't condone any type of hate speech. I don't profess to be any type of a fascist or, you know, things like that. Life's too short. However, there's a lot of these so-called controversial metal acts that are, you know, don't get me wrong, there is some absolute knobheads out there that do this type of stuff, but there's also a lot of people that maybe in the past did something, you know, the throes of youth, and believed some of the shit that they were being told and thought it was the right thing for their rhetoric. Now, they might describe it as traditionalism, they might describe it as being true to their own heritage and such like. Fair enough if that's how they think, but in the broader scale of things, it comes across as racism or hate speech and such like, which obviously there's no need for it. So there's I've got five bands to show. Some of them are undoubtedly steeped in controversial moments, and if you think that may offend you, then thanks for joining in anyway, and then turn it off and go watch somebody that's far more interesting than me. However, what I've noticed whilst doing a little bit of research, I know it's hard to believe that I do any, is that there's a load of people that say, oh, that latest album by, put a band name in here, is absolutely superb, it's flawless. But I'm not going to listen to it, because he had a photograph taken, stood next to some bloke wearing a badge that belongs to some far right, far left, far middle, wherever, hate crew type thing. And I think that's sort of missing the point. I know music's very diverse anyway. You know, there's going to be massively popular bands that I can't stand that you might think are amazing, and by the same token, there's going to be bands that I think are absolutely wonderful that you wouldn't give the time of day to. But that, for me, that's what music's about, that's what metal's about, and that's what the VC's about. It's sharing music that we enjoy in the hope that other people might find something to say, oh well, actually, yeah, I quite like that record, and I never really fancied them before. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, I mentioned before that I sort of changed my outlook on metal and genres. 4-5 years ago, I was predominantly just a thrash metal fan and no album, stuff like that. Went through a phase where I was quite the fan of some symphonic metal, you know, bands like Within Temptation and Nightwish. I still listen to them occasionally, but for some reason I decided, I need to be looking into what else is out there. What genres have I neglected to get on board with for whatever reason? Primarily death metal was the biggest one, so when everyone was going on about an Autopsy or Entombed, you know, I was like, I don't understand it, I don't get it, it's not for me. Obviously that's changed now, and I would say 90% of the time if I'm playing music, it will be death metal or grindcore or porno grind or whatever you want to call it, because there's just too many genres. I've said countless times, for me there's two types of music: shit I listen to, shit I don't listen to. Very simplistic, but that's me in a nutshell, really. So if any of these records I'm going to show, records and CDs I'm going to show, offend you, it's nothing, in no way a reflection of my own beliefs and thought process. You know, if I was to put Cannibal Corpse album on, there's a song about being rather intrusive with a sharp object. I'm not going to say it because most Cannibal Corpse fans will know what I mean. In fact, when I saw them last year, Corpse Grinder actually dedicated it to all the ladies in the room, which was quite strange. But you got a decent cheer. You know, I'm not going to suddenly then listen to that one track and say, right, I'm going in the kitchen, I'm going to go outside with a chef's knife and do inappropriate things to people with it. It's just, so I'm not going to suddenly start, you know, throwing the Zeke Hiles up and shit like that. It's not me. However, the music that I want to show is, say, I'm new to the genre, really. Massive thanks to people like Mattox Deep Shadows, Matt over at Ultra Madness, Liam the Death Doom Metalhead, Johnny Mark Rock Metal Plus, Trevor over at Fumes of Hatred. They've all showed enough different type of black metal that sort of piqued my interest and thought, yeah, let's delve a little bit deeper. So after all that waffle and bullshit, we'll get started. Now first up is a certain gentleman called, or band sorry, called Goat Moon. The main singer is called something like Black Goat, or how can you take a name like that serious? How can you be offended by somebody that's, you know, anyway, that's a different day. This is their 7th full length. This is out on Werewolf Records, and yes, I know Werewolf Records is as sketchy as shit, but they do put some good music out. This is from Finland. Now this is the only record of theirs I've heard. It's the only record of theirs I own. So I don't know in comparison, compared to some of the earlier stuff, if this is milder, if it's not as angsty or angry or whatever. But this is, the opening track is a bit sort of out of place really. It's more like a ceremonial fanfare type thing, you know, like maybe marching along to some parade, you know, probably, I don't really know. But then when it kicks into the black metal sound that you sort of come to expect. It's got the, you know, it's got the quite harsh vocals, quite screeched and painful sounding, like he's trapped his knob in his zip or something. The music on this one, it's quite, obviously it's blasty, it's very riffy, but there's like a flow to it, and almost, if I dare use the word associated with black metal, there's also like a melody that goes throughout the album and helps it carries it along quite nicely. Now obviously, because they're all edgy, they don't put out the lyrics in case you read something that you don't like. It is a gold coloured vinyl with boobies on that side of the centre circle, so we better not show that for too long because YouTube and boobies, not a good combination. YouTube and black metal, probably not a very good combination either. But yeah, this is a really good album. I saw it in the record shop probably about 6 weeks ago, and for a change listened to it digitally. That's when I then discovered about Lado being the architect of his own demise with some of the things he's done in the past. But again, I mean, Johnny Mac over at Rock and Metal Plus recently posted an album by a band on one of his social medias, and he was quite happy to receive the album. But then there was a lot of, not comments against John as such, but yeah, you can't really listen to that because it's a bit snidey. Oh, no. It maybe is a bit snidey. You know, he maybe is a bit of a knob. Not Johnny Mark. He's definitely a knob. But we still love him. But the people associated with these type of bands, you know, there's always going to be controversy in music. Whether it goes back to Elvis wiggling his ass in the 50s. Still controversial. It's still, you know, it was a selling point. And I think a lot of the black metal people, or just as an outsider dipping my toe in there, seems to be the case now. Ah, well, if we say about this or if we do that, you know, we might get banned. But whoa, think of the publicity. There was a, I can't remember the gentleman's name now, said there's no such thing as bad publicity. It's free, people are chatting shit about your stuff, then you know you're doing something. Anyway, so that's Goat Moon, and what once was shall be again. Their 7th full length came out in 2023. Now next up, this album and this band were a massive surprise how much I enjoyed them. And full disclosure, I bought this purely on the artwork that was shown from Mattock's Deep Shadows. That's another mention to him and all. If you don't know Matt's channel, then you're missing out, because he is one seriously entertaining dude. Bit of a pisshead, but you know, we can't all be perfect. And he's got the world's best pug as well. He doesn't get enough love of the pug. I think Matt needs to be upping his game a bit there and showing big balls a bit more often. Not his big balls, the pug's, I mean. Different story altogether. Anyway, the next one is Drowned in the Light and their album From the Abyss. This is their 13th full length. This is available on Dark Adversary Productions. These gentlemen are from Australia. Now this, the opening track on this is quite a pleasant piece of music, and you think, huh, I mean, it's almost, dare we say, choral in its sound. But then when the black metal kicks in, this is big boy black metal. This is probably wasted on a poser like me that's just dipping my toe in. This is a type of stuff that, yeah, you know, these guys aren't messing about. The vocals, the guitars, everything about it creates an atmosphere that is quite, it's haunting, it's quite disturbing, but it's very, very captivating. Now, unfortunately, this isn't going to show up as much as I liked it, because the artwork is absolutely, like I say, it's the reason I bought it initially. This is quickly becoming one of my favourite albums of all time, from all genres, not just black metal. There's something about the production on this that the instruments are all pristine. You can hear each instrument, and in turn that means you can focus on the vocal performance, which is sort of in the middle of the mix, and it's absolutely superb. I say it's only the CD. I will be getting a copy of this on, oh glare, I will be getting a copy of this on vinyl, should I be able to find one. But again, this is absolutely superb. I know the gentleman involved, is it Asgore, something like that it's called. That was a good guess, Asgore. He's, the amount of stuff that he's put out, I mean, even just as Drowned in the Light, there's a lot of stuff out there. You know, so the chances of owning everything by him, I would think, are pretty slim. You know for a fact some of it's going to be stupid money. But yeah, this is, for me, like I said, there's passages in this that are so memorable and thought-provoking even. Absolutely superb release. So if again, like I said, if black metal offends you, I don't suppose this is going to change your opinion, but musically this is as close to the perfect black metal album as certainly as I've, and you know, I said countless times, I'm quite new to the genre, but yeah, absolutely fantastic release. So that's Drowning in the Light and From the Abyss. Next up is a UK band called Pale Mist. Now I believe this is a one-man project, and I've said that looking at the back, and there's one bloke still with the hoodie on, so I'm guessing he's the main dude behind it. Again, this is proper black metal. It's very depressive sounding black metal. You know, it's not, I'm not saying any type of black metal picks you up and gives you a nice warm embrace, but this has got almost like a melancholy feel to it. The vocals on this are more of a growl than a shriek, but they are full of anguish and angst. You know, it's very much it's almost an uncomfortable listen, but by the same token you can't turn it off. It's a really, really good album. This is their second full length, out on Sinister Stench Production. Came out in 2016. There's loads of riffs, as you would expect. There's blasting drum beats. Now, the one thing about this album that I didn't expect on a black metal album is the fact that track 3 is over 18 minutes long. But it's not 18 minutes that's a drag. You know, I've got no problem whatsoever listening to a long song. But yeah, it's just a really solid album. Now I actually picked this up because I went, there's a cassette version of the first 3 demos. I actually went to the shop to pick that up. Unfortunately, they couldn't find it. So I saw this and I thought, I'll give it a blast. I've listened to the demos digitally, enjoyed them, so we'll see what it's like. And yeah, so glad I picked it up. It's absolutely spot on. Depressive, atmospheric, melancholic, anguished black metal. So that's Pale Mist and Spreading My Wings into the Abyss That Calls from 2016. Next up was a complete and utter blind buy. I saw it and I thought, now has somebody else shown that before and that's why it's registering? Or is it just because there's a dude on the front cover and he's obviously into black metal? This is the one and only release by a gentleman called Nefarious. Now there are several bands called Nefarious out there. This is a demo with 2 tracks on. This was originally released in 1995. This version is on Berznaz Productions. This came out in 2020, this version. The gentleman's from Austria. This is a 2-track demo. Now I'm not even going to attempt to read the song titles in the native tongue. As I've said before, I struggle to speak English, let alone Austrian. But the translations for the first one is The Wolf's Black Shadow, and the translation for the second one is Death Addiction in the Wall of Hate. And obviously I'm reading that because there was no way I was going to remember that lot. This is a really good, this is a proper demo. You know, it sounds like a demo, it's quite lo-fi in its production. The guitar tone and the keyboards seem a little bit fluffy compared to what you'd expect from a black metal demo. I mean, you know, it's certainly not groundbreaking. It's quite possibly why it's the only thing they ever released. But yeah, it's an interesting listen. I didn't pay a lot for it. You know, it's only on vinyl that's the proper colour that it should be. I tell you what, we'll take it out of that sleeve and show the inner label. Which way do we go? That way. Same on both sides. But yeah, it's definitely worth, if you can find it, it's definitely worth picking up. I didn't pay very much for it at all. But again, it's not, you know, it's not groundbreaking. It's not something. It's not an essential. Oh, I need to have that. Unless this channel went on to do other stuff, I never really put that much looking into it. But yeah, I don't buy many singles. But when I saw this, I thought, yeah, bloke on the front looks like a bit of a corpse paint fiend with his big scythe, and we'll give it a blast. And I'm pleased to have it in the collection. So that is Nefarious, with a title, The First Demo. Not very original, to be fair, but you know. Right, the last one for this little, well, not so little now actually, it's waffling on a bit, is this channel, well, or this band. This is Sacred Sun. Now, these are from the UK. This is their fourth full length on, what was it, True Cult Records. This came out in 2022, and with absolutely nothing at all to do with Gareth Southgate, it is called The Death of England. This is steeped in history. It's sort of, the story's sort of based on the 14th century revolution, when the so-called lesser classes said, no, Richard II was the king at the time. They sort of said, nah, fuck you, Dick, we aren't paying our taxes anymore. You know, if you want to come and have a go, bring plenty of your boys with you. Gatefold, with all the lyrics inside. Apologies for the glare. Yeah, this is a superb record. So I bought the Sacred Sun 3-cassette box set a while back, and out of the 3 that's in that box set, this is my favourite by a long way. It sort of creates a soundscape that you can imagine with a bit of imagination. You know, that's like what they'd have been back in the 14th century. Laddo with his Walkman hid under his coat. Yes, I know they didn't have Walkmans in the 14th century. Sony aren't that good. It's the type of music that you'd have expected to hear in the background. There's the intro track's just under 2 minutes, then everything else is around the 9-minute mark. Maybe one track, maybe 13 minutes, somewhere. I wondered if possibly they maybe could have trimmed the fat, as it were. This is on, what is it on? Yeah, proper colour wax. Nice and black, like it should be. Yeah, this is a really good album. If you haven't heard this, I know a lot of the black metal elite aren't a fan of the artwork for his covers, because there's a lot of them like just holiday snaps. And where is he? In the pictures, I don't know how clear it'll show up on the camera, where my finger is, and that's not giving the finger to anybody that's looking. You'll see him there with his shades on. He's even bigger a Walkman. He might have one stashed away in his pocket somewhere. But yeah, really good record, and a really good addition to the collection. Might have to grab the rest of the stuff on vinyl if possible, but the cassettes sound really good as well. But yeah, longish songs, but not to the point where it's like, it's certainly not to the detriment of the album. Just maybe I think it's about 45 minutes worth of music. Well, yeah, it's not that too bad, I suppose, for a full length. Yeah, so that's Sacred Sun and The Foul Death of England from 2022. So that's it. If you're new to my channel and you find anything you're even remotely interested, or if you just want to have a go in the comments about me showing snidey stuff, very much appreciated. Interacting with members of the VC has become a bit of it's nice, regardless of what interaction it is. So picked a couple of subs up, which again, it sort of proves that some people find it entertaining. Anything you want to talk about, please pop down in the comments. If you have been entertained and you think, yeah, we'll give them a thumbs up, again, very much appreciated. The next video, I think I'm going to do some old school, similar to the thrash ones I did before, like showing stuff that I've listened to for donkey's years. There's still a load of new stuff to show, but try and change it up a little bit. If there's anything you'd like to see, just suggestions, and throw it down in the comments. And look after each other. If you're in the UK currently enjoying the sunshine and you've got a bald bonce like me, don't be an idiot. Go out and make sure you put a cap on. Yeah, sunstroke's not nice, heat stroke's not nice. Being a lard ass with a bald head when it's sunny, not nice. But anyway, we'll wrap it away and look after each other. Take care, and as always, cheers!